Hello everyone. Before we begin, I wanted to quickly let you know that this June we're running a competition just for you. We're giving away 3 bundles of 5 games each on Steam, randomly selected from all the people who have left us reviews on the various podcast platforms. I'll go into more detail about the competition, including the games you can win and how to enter right at the end of the show, so stick around for that. But now, on with the podcast.
Gloom, Jalopy and Rainbow Drops. This is Staying In.
Peter Willington, I've got a bone to pick with you.
Okay.
Cool.
So the other day, I was free at home. Lisa had gone out somewhere. Poppy.
Yeah.
Sorry, our dog's having some FaceTime.
What, like on an iPhone?
Turn the camera. There she is.
Wow.
Okay. So the other day, Lisa was out doing, I don't know.
Work.
Yes. And I was free, and I sent you a text and asked if you wanted to play games, and you said no. You had better things to do.
I did.
And that better thing was what?
Organising your graphic novels, I bet it was that.
Yeah, so obviously there was organising my graphic novel collection.
Obviously. So rather than spend time with your friend, you wanted to stay in at home on your own and look at your books.
Yeah, so Alex and I had a sort out of our big bookshelf full of books, and it was kind of starting to heave, and we were like, do you know what? We've just bought a new bed. Let's put all of the books underneath the bed. Now,
Put all the pillows on the bookcase.
Now, so what this meant was, and I got about halfway through taking all of the graphic novels down, and then I remembered that all of the graphic, like let's say for example Batman, right? I've got like 15 or 20 Batman graphic novels now.
Batman.
Yeah,
Batman.
loads. And I can't remember which ones I've actually got. Like, so if I'm out and about and I'm in, like, I don't know, a store and I want to pick up a new graphic novel, then there's always this tiny little moment of, do I already own this?
So is this why, several days after this occurrence, you sent us all a link to share in your Google Docs spreadsheet of all the graphic novels you own?
Can I just intervene at this point and
please.
support Pete a little bit?
Why?
Yeah.
So, Pete.
He's made a spreadsheet of all the graphic
Lisa,
novels
this is supposed to be an
and sent it to
intervention.
all of us.
Yay.
However, I do have a slight point to make. So, Sam had moaned about this at the board game cafe to myself and Kris and Veronica.
Yeah, excellent.
And when we got home, Sam went to me, "Oh, I've just been putting loads of books onto your Kindle for you, and I've sent you an email with a spreadsheet about all of these books, so you can find out what they're like." And I was thinking to myself, you hypocrite, you spent your time doing that after slagging Pete off.
Look, guys, can I intervene
So
here?
he has no point.
It was just the title of the book and a small blurb, so you can pick the one you wanted.
A small blurb.
Small
So you
blurb.
creatively, you actually went through and thought, oh, let's do a quick summary of this. So I didn't do that.
I'll email it to you both.
The reason that I've done it is because I want to be more efficient with my money. And the reason I sent it over to you is because I thought, hey, these guys are as equally as cool as I am. Maybe they would appreciate my layout for my spreadsheet. Maybe copy it themselves. Yeah, exactly. You've got a copy there. It's looking great, right? It's looking fantastic. And the other side of this is when I go into a comic book store now, there's not going to be any, do I own The Longest Halloween? It's going to be a case of, I'll just quickly bring up my handy spreadsheet.
But Pete,
I mean, you're both sad.
I mean, of course we are. Yeah, we've both got problems. But Pete, you've on this podcast previously, you've attested to never, ever, ever letting anyone else touch your comics or your graphic novels. So, what is the point of sending us this list? Like,
Here's
we're
what
never
you
going to
could've
go,
won.
Pete's got that. I wonder if I could borrow that off him. Well, of course I can't.
Just to tease you.
Three things. One, the tease. Two, isn't this an interesting format? Maybe you guys could copy it as well for your things.
No.
And 3, selfishly...
Like Dragon's Den.
I've got a great idea, Dragons.
So, Pete,
Spreadsheets.
can I ask? I haven't yet seen the archive.
Sure.
Can I ask? Did you decide to go with alphabetical or Dewey Decimal? What was your?
I went with... Now, here's the difficult thing, and I did actually take about half an hour trying to figure out what the right way of doing
God,
this
you're not
would
doing
be.
yourself any favours, Pete.
So I categorised it
Ladies,
into...
he's taken.
Listen, I categorised it into series / overall title. So, say for example, if you're going to read a Batman, then you know that it's the Batman series. However, if you're going to read Blankets, and there wasn't a series of that, it was just a single one-off graphic novel, you would look for the title Blankets in that column. Now, if it is Batman something else, so for example, New 52 Volume 7. And it's got a subtitle. I was like, right, well, I need to know which of these I've got as well, because I don't want to re-buy Volume 8.
I'm just more worried about your memory, that you just can't remember having read something and held something in your hands.
It's because I absorb so much stuff all of the time that it just kind of goes out of my head.
That's not absorbing. That's the opposite of absorbing.
Yeah.
That's leaking.
It's absorbing like a... It's absorbing like a sponge, but a sponge that you absorbs loads of water and then you just wring it out at the end.
You're not Rain Man.
No,
I mean,
it's not like a chamois leather, not a sponge.
Well, I thought it was good. I thought it was a good technique. I thought it was a very good technique. And also, what you don't see in that spreadsheet is the 3 hours of research I did looking into mobile apps that would do the exact same thing and coming up with nothing.
Well, there's a design.
There's a gap in the market.
I don't think there is, because people just use things like Pete.
Their brain.
Yeah, exactly. But people wouldn't spend 3 hours trying to find something when there's a perfectly good thing there already to use.
I tell you what I do that is weird. That is, I may come across as being at the moment less geeky, maybe a bit weird like this. Is that my music collection is archived by the weather?
Oh my
God! Do you know
No,
what?
Kris,
Can I just say, I can't. Is it always like this?
No.
Because if I just
without
chosen...
Dan, just chaos
Right, I'm going to
reigns.
ring Dan, get him back. Bloody hell.
Chris,
Do you want me to tell you about how I organise my sock drawer next?
I literally don't know, Chris, how you would organise something by weather.
Like, there's a particular mood. Like, there's some music that I listen to that's really summery, so I won't put it on during the winter time.
I mean, there's so many questions that are emanating out of this, but I guess the first one is, what's a summery song?
Well, something. I know it's obviously
in
very
the summertime.
the way
Mungo
these kind of
Jerry?
personal
We're all going in the
categorisation. No,
summer
it's not like it names it in the actual title of the song.
So you get to something
It's not
like
catchphrase.
you get to something like
I was
rolling.
just thinking that
So,
catchphrase.
Chris,
It's like a lot of Boards of Canada, for example.
Right.
For me, they're a kind of a summer band. I listen to them in the summer. For some people, they may not be. For me, I listen to them in the summer kind of thing. They're quite light and kind of refreshing, or Coconut Records, that kind of thing.
Right.
Something like, I don't know, Elbow, I see it as being quite wintry or kind of rainy kind of sounds. I wouldn't listen to that in the summer. It would just completely kill the atmosphere.
Is this why you normally drink when you're doing this? I'm kidding, guys. It's lovely to be here.
It's great to be here, guys.
It's great to be here.
Great to be here.
I'm really enjoying learning about Chris's weather playlists.
But that took me 2 minutes.
Right. I'm not trying hard enough.
Took me 20 minutes today to sort out some data on phonics. Just if we're sharing.
Stereophonics.
No.
Monkey phonics.
Synthetic phonics.
Synthetic phonics. Are they real phonics?
Oh, this is I was kind of joking. It's a language thing.
Is it phonics for robots?
No, it's phonics for children. Like systematic synthetic phonics, like cat, k-at.
Oh, so you spell it out as you say it? No, you say
Sort
it.
of.
So
Anyway.
D-R-G.
Sort of.
E.
For our linguistic
Sort
listeners.
of. Sort of, yes. For the language lovers out there.
What's real phonics?
Oh no, I didn't want a conversation to stem from this.
This is it. We're going into phonics now. This is what's a monkey phonic?
What?
Monkey phonics.
I don't teach monkey. Well,
What do you mean, monkey phonics?
I've just heard monkey phonics before, and
Where?
I've always
With all the mums you hang around with?
yeah.
I don't think
all right.
that's a kid thing.
It's-
Ask Dan.
Yeah, Dan will know all about it.
Yeah. I swear.
Are you
I'm
checking your
Googling.
archive to see if
I'm
it's something
Googling.
you already own?
Yeah, whether or not it's in there or not. Oh, I can't see it.
Hooked on Monkey Phonics. There's a
like
TV episode of South Park.
Yeah.
I don't think it's real.
Superb.
Well done.
Okay, it's episode 12, season 3 of South Park.
Hooked on Monkey Phonics.
Hooked on Monkey Phonics.
God help your children. Today,
Oh.
kids, we're doing Monkey Phonics.
Oh,
hang
I
on.
think it's a font as well. Probably a font you can type with. I really can't believe I'm Googling this. Oh, it's create a logo using Monkey Phonics.
Yeah,
And you
it's
can
a
see this.
font. There we go.
There it is. So do you teach that?
No.
No.
Life would be more fun if we did.
If everything was in Monkey Phonics.
Yeah.
Toxic labels, flammable gas.
Wills.
Everything. So I introduced Sam to Rainbow Drops, the sweet, today. Have you guys had Rainbow Drops before?
No.
No?
Okay, maybe it's
What?
a generation thing
It must
because you
be.
guys are so old.
Right.
They are.
Thanks.
Rainbow Drops. I
Awful.
can't believe you
Right,
haven't
okay.
had Rainbow Drops before.
Hang on. How old do you think we are?
Yeah.
In my day, it was corn and sugar.
Back when all this was green fields.
All we had was Lucky Charms.
But, right, okay. Rainbow Drops
Yeah.
are literally, ricicles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like stale ricicles
I
in
wish
a
I had the bag with me.
bag,
Right.
and they're all different colours.
And they're like
And-
it's like a you put it into
Rainbow.
a bowl, eat it with milk.
No, it's
you
sweet.
eat them dry.
They're
I know.
nice. They're-
They're not a cereal, Pete. That Sam used it like a simile.
So
They're
how
like-
are they like ricicles?
Because they're like, bits of rice.
They're sort of like
In the same way you wouldn't
corn.
pour milk over a rice
No,
cracker.
but they're not.
They're a little bit like search them. Have a little bit of look for rainbow. At first, when you said you got rainbow drops in the car, I thought you'd got one of those like fairy stick, like those. What are they called? Billions and billions. What are they?
Hundreds of
Millions.
thousands.
Millions.
Hundreds and thousands.
No,
When
not
you-
hundreds and thousands. No, millions. The little
Ooh,
like
millions.
sherbet sweets
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
eat and then you chew and they.
Yeah.
I thought you meant those. I thought
No,
those
I
are
like
rainbow drops.
I
I thought-
can't
I thought-
believe you've not had rainbow drops before. It's not a northern thing.
I thought this was some sort of like northern LSD.
No, it's not a drug. There probably is a drug.
I'm looking at a packet of them. It looks like basically Pete Taco has gone through like a whole massive packet of Starburst.
Yeah. Right. I'm looking at a zoomed
God.
in picture of one of them, and it sort of
Why are
looks
you
like a
zooming in?
disease.
It
does look like a disease.
Well, if you
Yeah.
zoom in on it, it's going to look like a microorganism under a microscope.
True.
Oh, they look. So you don't eat these with milk. You just what like
Just
eat
eat
them
them
one
raw.
by
Just eat
one,
them.
one by one out of the pack.
Neck 'em.
I got into the car and Lisa was just covered in
No,
a
I
rainbow
wasn't.
reference.
Right, I bought them because they're really low in calories, but they're really sweet.
Nice. So are you? Hold on. So you're introducing these to Sam?
Well, I didn't think I was because I thought they were a universally well-known thing. Clearly, I was
I've had cough
mistaken.
drops.
Maybe it is a
This would be quite a
generation thing.
lacerating
You guys are
experience
older
to have
than me.
these to help you cough.
Right, okay, Lise. Okay, dib dabs.
Yeah,
Okay.
got one of them at work actually.
What's the one that looks like a stick of dynamite?
Oh, I don't know. 'Cause I don't like licorice. Oh no, the one that's white in the middle with red on the outside.
What are you on about? What are these new sweets?
What are you on about? What looks like a stick?
Do you mean?
Yeah,
do
the
you
one
mean
with the licorice stick.
Yeah, I don't like them because I don't like
Fizzy
What are they
sherbet.
called? What?
fizzy sherbet?
I don't know because I've never had one because I hate licorice.
I think that's what it's called. So there were two things that they had. There was a licorice one that came in a little orange circular packet, and you put
Yeah,
the licorice
yeah,
in.
Yeah, then there was
And
the
you were
dip
like-
dab with the
Yeah,
lolly.
and then there was a dib dab one with a lolly, and you had the sherbet on as well. And that
I've
was
got one of those in my
oh,
drawer at work. I'm going to have it tomorrow.
That was so good.
Oh, yeah. Okay, flying saucers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
What about Lise? What about packets of chewing gum where you bought it because it was chewing gum, but really you bought it because there was a small toy or card or sticker or tattoo inside?
What? What? So you chewed the gum and then pulled out the thing?
Yeah, you'd open up
Yeah.
so you'd.
It was a
it would be
transfer tattoo.
Yeah, and
What
it'll be
was
like branded
that?
and
Was
stuff.
it Hubba Bubba? I can't remember what make it was.
Like, Hubba Bubba was just plain packaging. wasn't
Bubblegum. No, it had a transfer tattoo.
Was it the
in
blue one?
I don't know.
It was there was a Topps one, and it was for Super Mario Brothers 3, and you opened it up and then ate the gum and then spat it out 'cause it's absolutely disgusting. And then you could have like a temporary tattoo transfer of like Toad. It was great.
I remember when I was a kid. You know when they used to put things in packets.
They still do some.
They say,
Well,
I don't
no,
know.
I mean like
Back in the day when they used to package things.
they used to like
Do you remember?
when you used to have toys and cereals.
Oh,
and
yeah,
things
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Oh,
But now
yeah.
like so, and there was a period of time when Disco's crisps came with flavour bombs.
Disco.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? And one of my favourite crisps. They're in my top 5. Disco's.
Yeah, we all got
vinegar.
the spreadsheets. So.
Chris, is that giving you nightmare flashbacks of that drive down to London where I was asking you and Sam continually, if you could only ever have one sandwich again in the rest of your life, what would it be? If you could only have one pizza topping for the rest of your life, what would it be?
3
The whole
hours.
way down.
I thought it's funny actually. I thought of this actually because I saw something somebody put on Twitter the other day. That they put like a tier of crisps. Have you seen this? Like a hierarchy of crisps that goes from God tier down to shit tier, and Discos are in the shit tier.
No. Well, let me just.
Yeah.
No,
That is
right,
a bold graph.
Sam did not make this then. That's a bit
Disco's-
subjective, really, isn't it?
But
Well, yeah.
Discos, when they had these bombs in them at
Yeah.
school once, I managed to collect 5 of the bombs, these little packets.
You greedy pig. Said that in a much politer way than I was going to.
And one day, I remember being in the alleyway behind school, and while everyone else was like smoking cigarettes and like experiencing
girls.
drugs and girls for the
sparked
first
up.
time, I opened up me a bag of Discos and poured all 5 packets in at once, shook them up,
Giving everyone the eye. Yeah.
and had me a disco party.
Oh, take
No
that,
one else is
society.
invited
And
to.
how much of that can you remember, Sam?
Well, I woke up in hospital. Which is weird.
No way.
No, of course I didn't.
No.
Chris. Oh, dear.
Train spotting.
I crawled into the toilet.
There was a kid I went to school with, and I didn't go to school with him. A kid I knew, actually, who was also called Sam. On his lunch breaks at school, he would go to the corner shop, buy a bag of icing sugar, stick a straw in it.
No.
No.
Yeah,
So he had a
No,
cheap
yeah.
dib dab, basically.
yeah. He'd do his own dib dab.
No,
And what?
that's...
And just suck it through the straw?
Yep.
That's...
I'd love to see his teeth now.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That's not real, Chris. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Oh. I can't... Oh. Oof. I can't even imagine that.
I worked with a guy once who, and this was during night shifts, and we were covering the Ashes cricket, and it was
Right.
in Australia, so we were doing really long shifts overnight, and it's a little bit tedious because really, you know, all the team who are working on it are in Australia, and we're just kind of monitoring
Right.
what's happening. So I was working with a producer at the time, and he, for the first week that we were working together, he was drinking Coke. And just like every shift, he'd be drinking a couple of bottles of Coke. And so, you know, that's fine. You keep him awake and whatever. And then the next week, there was no Coke, but he just had I just saw him at the corner of my eye, just eating sugar cubes one by one.
No.
And his theory
Like
is
a
actually
horse.
quite... Yeah, and his theory is actually quite sound, because he was like, well, the thing with Coke is you never really know how much sugar you're eating, so at least this way I know exactly how much sugar I'm having.
I mean,
He was like, I'm doing exactly the same thing.
he's right.
I mean, it doesn't really conform to social etiquette.
No.
just huffing like sugar cubes in the corner of a radio studio.
Diet Coke? No, thanks. I brought a packet of Tate and Lyle with me. All right.
Canderel in the morning.
Brilliant.
Well, we can challenge you. We can challenge Lisa
Yeah,
to
yeah.
guess the what is in what. So, Chris, what's in
What's
this?
in the bag?
What's in the microwave? What's in this god list of crisps?
Well, I've got 25.
Disco's
I've got
a
25
bit-
packets
Disco's
of
at the
crisps here
bottom.
that range from God tier to top tier to mid tier to low tier and shit tier. I want you to guess what are in the top 5 crisps in the God tier.
Kettle
What
chips.
makes the cut?
This is going to be our toughest challenge ever.
Top 5. The top.
McCoy's.
What's up? Sorry, Lisa.
McCoy's.
He's looking. He's thinking. It shouldn't
McCoy's?
take this long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the God tier.
Really? McCoy's? That's a strong first entry.
Yeah, but this person said discos were in the shit tier, so...
Kettle chips.
Already psychoanalyzing. Exactly, Sam. Right next to McCoy's.
There we go.
In the God
Okay.
tier.
Walker Sensations.
If that's
Yes.
the God.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, another one in the God
Bloody
tier.
hell,
the
3
God
out of
tier?
3. Two more.
You're a connoisseur.
What else would
There's
it be?
2 left to guess. This is incredible.
I can't believe we've come
Willington?
this far. Oh, don't ask Peter Willington. He eats pork out of a tub.
No, listen, listen.
Not anymore, he's a changed
Okay.
man.
I've got one here.
Oh god, he's
Now,
going to ruin it for us.
Brannigan's.
Can we just... That's not a real answer.
Brannigan's is real.
No, it's
and
not in there.
it's
That's
not
a
even
South Park
on there.
episode.
I think it is episode 14.
No, it's not. Brannigan's aren't on here.
Bacon fries.
Guys, just stop being so...
Oh, I'll
You're not
take.
thinking
I'll accept
Frazzles.
Frazzles, Sam.
Frazzles
Frazzles.
That's in the low
bacon
tier.
ones.
in the low tier.
No, this person clearly likes a robust crisp.
Yeah, likes a good crinkle cut.
But he doesn't because the Brannigan's is like a top tier crisp for that.
What about those Seabrooks? No, they're not that good, actually.
No, they're not that
no,
good.
not good.
The first couple.
Pringles.
Pringles are in the mid tier.
Yeah, they are a mid tier.
Doritos?
Nah.
Mid tier?
Doritos
Are they in
are
the
top
mid-tier?
tier. They're just below God tier.
Can you
They're
give
in
us a?
top tier.
Can you describe one of the last two?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it
certainly.
just normal
it is
Walkers?
incredibly
Chris.
cheesy.
Chris. Oh
Walker's cheese and onion.
no, incredibly cheesy. Cheetos. What's it?
Yes, What's-Its.
Oh,
What's-Its
I
are in the
love
God tier.
What's-Its.
I hate
Skips.
What's-Its.
Skips.
Oh, I love what's
Skips are in the mid tier.
Quavers.
This is
Quavers.
all
We're
over
just
the
are in the
shouting
top tier,
Chris
Lisa
names.
Mart.
I really wish everyone could see Pete's face.
This-
Absolutely disgusted.
This tier this
Has
tier
Brannigan's
system.
got, is it like Brannigan's some kind of bran potato crisp?
this
Really high in fibre.
this tier system is not peer reviewed. I'm not happy with this. This is all
I do
over
agree,
the shop.
Pete.
What's it?
I think it'd be hard to peer review crisps. People's favourite crisps.
The last one, Chris. If the last
one
Chris,
is two
if it,
words.
no. If it was a person,
Yeah.
what kind of person would this
Oh,
last
Jesus.
crisp, God crisp, be?
Pete.
Do you know what? I have never had a packet of this last one. This last crisp. I've
Okay,
never had a
right.
packet.
Really? Oh my
Let
god,
me
well,
have
that's
a
your
think.
birthday sorted.
Transformer snacks.
No. They're close to that. No, they're not on here. But the closest one to that would probably be Space Raiders, which they've put in the shit tier, which I think is ridiculous.
Oh,
I agree,
who
that is
this
ridiculous.
person?
Okay, so
2 words. What kind of
words.
person are they?
There's no scientific method to this.
I can't really describe the person except that their initials are the same letter.
Tiny top. What are those tomato
Tommy
ones?
Tomatoes.
Tommy
I
tomatoes.
don't think they're going to be in the God tier.
No. And
It's
you've
a
never
hell of a
had
pantheon we've got built here, isn't it? Really,
of
for
crisp.
the gods of crisp.
French fries.
French fries.
French fries.
You can't just
are
yell
in
my
at
idea
low
a
tier.
millisecond after
Low
me.
tier.
Stop repeating everything everyone's saying.
Well, you're not listening.
I am listening. Rude.
Right. What is the letter? I'm struggling here.
It's an N. It's an N.
Knickknacks.
Yes, God tier.
Knickknacks
God
are God
tier.
tier.
Yeah, according to
Pete
this
is
person.
absolutely disgusting.
I am livid. So, Sam and Chris, I saw some Snapchats and stuff that you were both playing Arkham Horror.
Yes, Arkham Horror, the card game.
Because we finally finished Pandemic Legacy.
Well,
We
okay,
smashed through
so
the
first
last
of
2
all, is
months.
this the final podcast of talking about Pandemic Legacy? Is this the
Until
final
season 2
time?
comes
I
out.
Until
think to
season 2
save
comes
it till next time
Next time.
when I'm not here.
Oh, but you were part of the Pandemic Legacy Pantheon. First 2 months.
Yeah,
Lorna Sharks.
but then I didn't carry on.
Well, that's okay.
I went and drank cocktails instead.
That's true.
It's a logical reaction to an epidemic on such a global scale.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go and drink some cocktails. You guys,
Bring me the porn star martini.
You guys are all right? Yeah. See you.
Yeah.
We
See
all
you
wish
when
we
this
draw that
blows up.
card.
So, Pandemic Legacy came to an end.
Yep,
Did
it
you
did.
feel... Well, first of all, did you win?
We did. Well,
Yep.
in a sense, yes. When you get to the end, you kind of, based on certain things that have happened, you generate...
That means no.
Well,
Right.
No.
I can tell.
No. Based on certain things that happen, you generate a score, and a score relates to a certain ending that you might
Oh, right.
get.
Okay.
And we got a reasonably okay ending. Basically, we saved the world, but it's going to take a long time to repair the damage.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
So yeah, for new listeners, Pandemic, very quickly, it's a cooperative board game where you work together to cure the world of diseases. And we've played the legacy version where basically each time you play the game remembers what you did last, and you're kind of playing through a year in the life of the planet as you're trying to cope through the twists and turns of its narrative as you work through each month, really. So we've just come to the end of a game that took us nearly 2 years to complete.
About 18 months to complete, yeah.
Was it a satisfying resolution? Did it feel like the game was balanced all the way to the end of the campaign?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Every single
Really?
step of the way. There was
really good.
There was never any point where I felt that we were cheated or kind of... or, there was... Even if there was a point where there was a rule that we kind of read wrong, or that we sort of acted out in any way, the game was perfectly flexible and kind of was able to cope with that. So
Right.
so it was perfectly balanced. There was never any point where I thought that we felt cheated or kind of dishonoured out of any of the decisions we made. It was
No.
it was
We named the disease after Dan,
we did.
which he was very chuffed with,
Excellent.
because that was the disease that really annoyed us the most throughout the entire...
Like, kicked our ass, basically.
Oh, yeah. But yeah,
So-
so we've gone from that, we moved on to Arkham Horror, the card game, which
Okay.
Sam will discuss, which is right up your alley, Pete, because it's all things Lovecraft, which you are currently heavily invested
Well-
in, as we talked about in the last show.
So I also have a copy of it. Sam and I bought it at the same time, and
Yeah,
I've only...
we've talked about it at length on the podcast before, but I think what's different now is that every moment up to now I've been sort of dipping my toe in the water with it a lot,
Yeah,
and
right.
Kris and I basically now we've got Pandemic out of the way. We actually jumped in head first, and we've done our first full proper mission of the first campaign.
So Kris,
So-
did you? So this is your first? Is this your first big LVG? Like you've not really done Netrunner, you've not done Lord of the Rings, you've not done anything like that.
No, I've not done Lord of the Rings. I've played Netrunner a couple of times with Sam. Yeah, this is my first one, and I really like it. It's my first introduction to Lovecraft as well. You'd really piqued my interest when we last spoke, when you were talking about the kind of the writings of his that you've kind of immersed yourself in.
Sure.
And essentially what's quite nice is everything is just in this pack of cards.
Yep.
So Sam will turn a card over, and it'll be the hallway where we start, because this is like the tutorial mission, kind of like in a video game. So it's very short, it's very light, and basically we will do something then, a bit like Betrayal. He'll flip over another series of cards, and these will be the rooms adjoining that hallway, and then randomly enemies will spawn in those particular areas, and we have to look at what assets we have, whether we can actually afford to take on that enemy, or whether we have the ability to run away. And I'm playing a character who's a kind of he's a bit like a private investigator kind of character.
Roland Banks.
And Sam, who are you playing as?
Wendy Ackerman, I want to say. Yeah, we kind of rolled with the two decks that the game suggested with. Because I did try to do a little bit of the deck building, but the issue is the other characters I didn't really like as much. I tried to play as Daisy, who's a bit of a sort of magey kind of character. She's got like witch sort of spells. And the thing is, a character who I wanted to play as, who was Schizo Tool, he shared a lot of cards with Roland Banks, and without buying another core set, I basically wouldn't have been able to make a full deck with his cards. So we decided to kind of plump for me just playing with the kind of the starter decks as set out from the guide. And I'm not, they were both perfectly fine. I think they gave us everything that we needed to make it through that first mission, which is very much a tutorial.
But it's great because you've got 2 piles of cards. One pile is the enemy, the other pile is yours, and each time the enemy succeeds, they get their prescribed amount of quota. They turn their card, so you've got this visual indication of how far the enemy is ahead of you. And what I love about the game, which really pulls me in, is the beautiful artwork, and just it's not just like the pandemic cards where you'll get a line that says, "Okay, now you can do this." Now you, in addition to having the actions, you've also got the next part of the story. And it's this really interesting, really kind of Lovecraftian story that's been spun here just through these cards. And there's so much in just this small arrangement of cards on a table, and you're having to make these calculated choices. Okay, do I help Sam out because he's cornered here against this really big bad and he hasn't got enough might to take it out? So do I sacrifice one of my cards that says it's got a lot of might, but it's a gun that I want to use as an asset? Or do I hope that Sam can draw the sufficient thing from the chaos bag, which is the equivalent of a dice from the bag, that he has enough to run away from it? So it's this really kind of lovely thing, and I think, can I help Sam here? No, I can't. I'm in a different room to him. And, no, this piece that I've pulled, because I've got the highest attack, it's going to make a beeline straight for me. I've got to deal with this first before I can then go. And it's just great. And we played the tutorial just through serendipity. We ended up playing it like 3 times, I think, Sam?
Yeah, because we
and each time it was always slightly different.
Yeah, we played it through once just to kind of, for you to get a grip of the game. And then we played it through again, and that's when I played through it with Daisy, and I just really didn't like her with a character. I didn't want to take her on to the next campaign, so we decided the next day we went to Sugar and Dice in Liverpool and played a couple of games, just like we played Battle Lines and Castle Panic, and then kind of decided that now and then was like the first time this is going to matter. Whatever happens here is part of our narrative. So the next thing that we've got to do, we got experience from that adventure. We got 7 experience points each to play, and so now we've got a decision to make of like which side story we want to play. We've got one costs 3 experience to play, one costs 1 experience to play, and then we've got to make a decision of what cards that we want to upgrade and buy. So there's a real nice part to our adventure now where we're kind of going to be like of what we do to our characters. Do we, I've had a look at some of the cards I can pick from, and it's very much like, do I give myself a bit of extra armor? And I've had a look at a bit of Kris's cards, and he's got really low, so he can sanity. But there's a card that you can buy, Kris, with your experiences that will help you boost your sanity and give you a bit of protection. So, yeah, I think we're going to probably play before the half marathon for a bit of a.
Yeah, there's nothing quite better than training up for 13 miles of running.
Not the hour before.
No.
But,
Yeah.
But Sam, do you sent me a Snapchat the other day?
Yes.
In response to the game we're playing.
Yes.
And I don't know if Pete's aware of what you've done in response to this game, because we talked a few episodes ago about game transfer, and I'm the kind of person when I finish a game I kind of leave it behind, kind of thing. But for Sam and his overactive imagination, that gaming world kind of bleeds into his real world.
Right. Yeah.
And it's really genuinely really interesting. So what have you been doing, Sam?
Well, I decided that I was just clearing some stuff out, and this all came from the fact that we had this kind of there was like the story to tell of what happened to us in the house in this first scenario. Like there was an actual like things happened. Like Kris's character Roland was dealing with all these monsters, and then I came along. Then the big bad arrives, and you've been dealing with monsters that have only got 2 or 3 health, and then this big bad arrives at the end of the first scenario, and it's got 10, and you're just like, wow, this is completely out of control. And I'm playing as this small urchin girl, and I managed to bash it to death with a baseball bat. And I thought that, and then we set your house on fire, and we found someone hidden in your parlour, and I thought this is just like an incredible story. So what I've decided to do is to keep a diary as my character, like, so every time we play, just do a bit of creative writing, I guess, just like have a diary of what happened and what brought us to that location, and kind of just a bit of a detail. Because I just feel like sometimes when you play a board game, you're making these moments and you're making these narratives, but for this one I just kind of want to enjoy the process of like logging it in some way.
Yeah.
But not like logging it in a dry way of like, oh, this happened, then Kris did that, then I did that. Like actually making it a sort of a
creative endeavour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I found this old sort of dusty notebook and started writing in that. So that's fun.
That's cool.
It's a way to pass a Sunday.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah.
Lise, what did you think of that pizza game we played?
I thought it was alright. I mean, it wasn't my favourite game.
New York Slice is the name of the game. Have you seen it, Pete?
No,
This is by Bezier Games. We played this in Sugar and Dice.
Are we officially making that staying in HQ Liverpool?
Yeah, definitely.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay,
Definitely.
all right, fine. Okay, that's fine. As long as we've got at least one base of operation.
So yeah, we played New York Slice, which it's basically like a drafting game, like a card drafting game.
Yep.
But instead of cards, you play with physical slices of pizza, of cardboard pizza. So each pizza has a value on it from 3 to 11.
Yeah.
And basically someone randomly makes a pizza in the middle of the table.
Yeah.
So all the numbers are random, and then they slice it into 4, or however many people are playing, 4 piles. And basically whoever's got the most of one number gets that many points at the end of the game. So it's like this, a bit like Sushi Go, it's like this drafting game where everyone's out to get what they want to make their... But
Yeah.
everyone else can see what people are going for. So the person who's slicing the pizza will slice it in a way that certain numbers aren't together, and you can like eat pieces
It
of
was
the
good.
pizzas. You know, I thought it was
I'd like to play it again.
I enjoyed it a lot.
And Gloom. I know it's not the same, but I loved Gloom.
Oh,
You love Gloom.
talk about Gloom, Lise, because you not mentioned that on the show, actually.
Talk about Gloom, Lise.
It's bleak enough for me.
Make
so
us miserable. Yeah, I really enjoy. Have you played Gloom, Pete?
I think I've played it once. I own it, but I don't really remember much about it, to be honest.
Oh, great.
This is
Well,
this is
I'll
like,
stop talking about that.
This is no,
Pete's memory.
This is like one of those. Yeah, this is one of those like why I need a catalogue moments.
Yeah, you really are bad, aren't you?
Yeah.
So
actually.
I enjoy Gloom. So basically, it's a game with cards,
Yeah.
and you have to inflict as much misery as possible onto your family, your characters, and you have to try and make everyone else's lives fabulous. And yeah, I really enjoyed it.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I think the gimmick of it is the fact that the cards are transparent. So you're like,
Yeah, it was
you've
good.
got these
Oh, yeah.
really nicely animated sort of Addams
Oh, I
Family-esque
really liked the animations.
characters, and then
Yeah.
you're actually like laying these sort of acetate pieces of card on top of the
Very
characters.
clever.
And like modifying and then creating these little like narratives. So like Lisa had a character, I think, that went boating and then got into an accident, but then got married and had a wonderful wedding, and then
Don't worry, I killed them off.
and then and then you got to like kill them off at the right moment as well.
And you can like build up negative points. Like Kris had this character that had a big stack of cards on it because I kept making it really happy, and then he kept making it really, really miserable. Then I
Yeah.
got this like wild card where I could just instantly discount a character on somebody else's deck, so he couldn't count any points from it, and it was brilliant.
It's a really good game.
That's it. At least it's right, because you forget about all the other characters trying to make them
Yeah.
miserable. You have this kind of
Yeah.
mini feud. So Lisa would just
Exactly.
deliberately had it in for this one character of mine, trying
Yeah.
to make
Oh, I
bring a
couldn't
ray of
stand him.
sunshine into their lives, and I was trying to make them as miserable as possible. And it's
Felt so
it's
sorry
really
for him. He
lovely.
needed
There's a
it
kind of
happiness.
a bit of a take that, but nobody really cares because everyone's so interested in kind of building this narrative where you have this incredible weird peaks and troughs of a person's life being told in this incredible story.
One of the things that's always been a slight embarrassment for me is the fact that I've never had to and never really had any desire to learn how to drive a car at all.
I mean, if you could drive a car, you wouldn't have had to run down the road after that Tesco van when we were in Bristol.
Right, absolutely. There's so many.
There's
many,
a story.
There's so many skills and things. Like there's so many opportunities I could have had if I'd known how to drive a car. Like
Uber would have gone bust though.
well, yeah, absolutely. But like, so I've always thought to myself, oh, how, like, would I ever want to learn to drive a car? And like, what is it that's kind of put me off? And recently, I was kind of thinking to myself, oh, you know, maybe that's something that I should look into in the near future.
Do you know what you should have done? You should have done it and not told anyone and driven up here in July. Just turned up.
Maybe I'll do that. Maybe, hey, I could do that. I could like learn how to drive
with a smoothie in your hand.
That's a really, really.
No, sorbet, not smoothie.
That's a really good tip. Yeah, like a bunch of sorbet in the truck.
Yeah, things I've never done.
Yeah, things I've never done. So I mean, like, so I've always thought about that stuff, and so I decided recently that I would try to live vicariously the idea of owning. No, yeah, I do that all the time. But I've been trying to live vicariously through a video game about owning a car. Like,
is it Mario Kart? Wait.
Yeah, it's not quite Mario Kart. Like,
Destruction
I'm
Dog.
doing it!
Grand Theft Auto.
Carnage.
Like, turn around to the driving instructor. Where are the bananas? So this is a game from Minsk Works, and it's a game called Jalopy. And the setup for this game. So this is a game on PC. And the setup for this game is it's halfway between a car mechanic simulator and a car ownership simulator. So it's a game in which you have to... So you get given a car, the Jalopy, right?
It's like when you give a kid a doll.
Right.
It's a practice run. You're in health and social care at college. One of those
Listen.
babies that you have to look after.
Yeah, no, that's exactly... No. But that feeling of having to look after something is exactly what this game actually is. And it's...
Do you know that you have a rabbit?
It's terrifying. No, but this is terrifying on a completely different level. Like, having a rabbit is just like...
Taco passes MOT with flying colours.
Yeah. Apart from when they get poorly, the only thing you got to worry about is like feeding them and water and a bit of hay and all that sort of stuff. But...
And not sitting on them, Kris.
Not sitting on them. Like, exactly. Not terrible animal abuse that Kris does.
Hang on, can I just say that this is being taken way out of proportion? I nearly sat on Poppy. I ended up sitting on Sam's sprayed fingers.
Well, don't rub it.
Sam groped your bum.
So that's what I said to Sam.
Yeah. So this is a game where you get given this jalopy by your grandfather or your uncle or something like that, and then he immediately starts to tell you how to look after your car. You have to build the engine in this game, so you start putting all the engine pieces together. You have to put together the carburetor and the main engine core and the filter, the engine filter.
Do you think we've all built our cars?
No. I don't think you've all built your cars, but I'll bet you.
That's part, do you think
Like,
that's
that's not
part of learning, that's not part of learning to drive, Pete?
No, but I'll bet
you've got to build it.
So here's the thing, though, right? So you have to put wheels on. You have to change your tires, and all that sort of stuff. I'll bet you that you can.
After you just put the wheels on.
But can you change tires?
Yes.
I
change
can,
tyres.
but I can also ring the RAC.
Oh
for
yeah,
free.
no, of course. Well, so the RAC and AA,
And AA and all other providers.
Other providers.
Green flag.
Yeah, I can change it. I can change a tyre.
So you can change a tyre. Okay, so obviously I can't drive and I can't do any of that sort of stuff. So,
But you feel now you could change a tyre.
No, not at all. And it's completely terrified me, this game of car ownership, because the whole point of this jalopy is it's kind of it's built like it's awful. It's like a Skoda. It's like a Skoda. Skoda from like the 60s and 70s when they were really bad. And so your engine is comically poor in terms of wear and tear and the amount of fuel that it needs, and it's constantly leaking, it's doing all sorts of things. So it's all about keeping on top of the health, I suppose, of your vehicle.
Pete, as someone who doesn't drive, how do you know so much about engines?
Because this game has been telling me...
As in, like, what's a poor engine? Oh, does the game tell you that it's a bad engine?
This game, like... So you get an owner's manual with the game.
Wowza.
Right, so exactly. So it's like, here's where all this sort of stuff goes, and here's what a carburetor does. And I'm like, okay, cool. So not only do you have to build all the car together and do all this sort of engine maintenance and stuff, you then have to drive it. and you also have to take courier items from one location to another location in this sort of ex-Soviet bloc Eastern European state where everything's awful and kind of like really nastily communist, if you know what I mean, like really awfully kind of like nuclear like towers in the background and like you will obey and all this sort of these kind of horrible posters and like military officials everywhere and so it's a simulation of driving as well.
Pete rocks up in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a simulation of driving. So, for example, if you want to pass through a checkpoint, so you have to go from one country to another country at one point, they say, "Yes, sir, passport," and you're like,
and you say, "Oh no, it's at home."
You literally do. Like, I'd forgotten it. Like, I had no idea where this passport was. So I was like, I haven't got it. And they were like, well, not coming through. Like, I got to a service station and
you know
I couldn't.
That's real life.
Yeah, this is it. But it's a simulation of car ownership. Like, I got into a petrol station, filled up my thing with fuel, and they locked the gates because I started to drive away, and they were like, pay. So there's this really.
So it's like driving and owning cars for dummies.
It's
basically
exactly that, and
yeah.
I've realised I'm really bad at it, like terrible to the point of. So the game allows
That's because you don't drive.
Yes, exactly, and I'm trying to learn.
Just get an automatic.
So I'm trying to learn how to drive. I'm not trying to learn how to drive, but this game
can't
is
wait till Pete books himself in for a driving test, rocks up, no lessons. Bloody guys, I can build the car.
I've got me passport just in case.
I've got my money. I'm sorted.
That's extraordinary.
So
that sounds fascinating.
The game is, Kris, I was playing this, and the entire time I was playing it, I was thinking Kris would absolutely love this game. Like, it is bleak as heck.
Sounds like The Sims.
There's a bit of that to it. There's this sort of simulation element to it.
Kris would love this. It's bleak.
It is, but it's bleak. But it's also like
really dour and bland. I love it.
But it really sets you in the place, right? Like you really feel this. Like it's partly through having to do all of this manual stuff. Like, okay, well, I've got to close the door behind me for my car. I've got to open the I've got to. There's a little latch that you can pull so that you can access the engine itself, and then you have to.
You're saying all this like it's a revelation.
I know,
But
it's
it is a revelation. I've never done this, and it puts you in this position of car ownership and in that place. And I genuinely, Kris, like I was playing and just thinking, this is your game. Like it's so about embodying the shoes of the person you are playing as, and the place that you are in. Like oh my word, it's amazing, and so hard. Like I'm so put off car ownership now.
Blimey. I've never. It's funny you say it because I've never ever wanted to drive. My parents said it'd be a good idea for me to do it while I was young, so I did do it, and it's been very convenient. But I'm not a massive fan of driving, and that came to a head when I was in Azores, actually probably the day I got the T. I was driving. I had to drive on the other side of the road, and it just kind of just freaked me out. I've not been that freaked out since I was a kid.
Why did you have to?
Like I was saying to my partner, I was just like, but why is everything on the other side? Is the accelerator, brake and clutch the other way around? And like having to change gear with my right hand rather than my left, and these kind of things that have been hardwired into me.
Sure.
I had to kind of deprogram and reprogram. It was so familiar but yet so strange at the same time. But now
I
I've come
found
back
it
from that, I
really
feel
easy.
What, with everything on the other
Yeah,
side?
so I thought that I would, but I suppose I
Was
did
it
learn.
automatic?
No, it wasn't automatic. I did learn to drive when I was 17, and I've always had to drive. So I've always straight away had to drive 20 minutes to college and back, and then I used to work at the Trafford Centre, so it's like on the motorways. And then we went to Spain, and I drove in Spain, and I was panicking, thinking, but everything's going to go on the other side. I'm not going to know what to do. Da-da-da. I found it all right once I got into it. I did go on the wrong side of the road once.
Right.
But it was all right.
Yeah.
Just once.
Everybody else
It was
died.
fine. And then, obviously in America, I've driven there twice, and that's fine because it's automatic.
Yeah.
But it's coming out of junctions. I don't know how you felt, Kris. It was coming out of junctions that I was a bit like...
I was okay with junctions. It was just, I think, it was the fact that like people wouldn't park their cars; they just abandon them.
Yeah.
And like some roundabouts caught me out a little bit when you're approaching a roundabout from the other side. I think it's just and I was
When
in
you
this
start
tiny
to
little
think
Fiat
about
Punto.
It
Yeah,
gets
exactly.
confusing.
I think you overthought it, Chris, rather than just relying on
Instinct,
the innate
yeah, no,
ability
yeah.
to drive.
That's true.
The fact that you overanalyzed it by going, hang on, my left foot is doing what my right foot usually does.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Anyway, Pete, next birthday present, driving lesson.
Oh my
Oh, God.
Can I be
no.
in the car when you do it?
No, I don't want anyone in the car while I do it. Christ.
I thought you were gonna learn and drive up.
No, well, maybe...
You should learn. You sound like you're well prepped.
No.
Yeah, Jalopy's got you going.
We went quad biking for your 30th.
Yeah,
That was
you love
great.
that.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, can I drive a quad bike?
You need a 50cc license.
Is that like a moped?
Yeah, just rocking up to
Yeah,
work
yeah.
in Bristol.
Could I
I
take
hate
that?
those people who drive quad bikes on the roads. You can't be one of them.
Could I take it on the motorway?
No, of course you can't.
Unless you're someone I drove past the other day.
Really?
Did you see a quad
Yeah.
bike on the motorway?
Yeah, quad bike on the motor. It's very illegal.
It's not just illegal.
It's very illegal.
The police pulls him over. What have I done, sir? I'm afraid you've done something very,
Very illegal.
Very illegal. I did leave the room to make a lovely tea provided
Oh.
by Mr. Darby.
Yeah, we got Portuguese tea from Kris Darby.
So I'm just about to sample that now.
We had to play some tea roulette because Kris gave us this tea, but didn't tell us what kind of tea was actually inside the sachets.
Right.
Sachets.
So we kind of had to. There was a blue sachet.
Why can't you say sachet?
There was a blue sachet. And then there was a green sachet.
Monkey phonics.
And so we kind of thought that there was green tea in the green sachet, but not kind of sure what was in the blue one. So
Well, I thought it was black tea, and I was right.
Yeah, you were.
Wow.
You don't need milk with it, Pete. It's very light tea. It is from the Azores, where I went in Easter for a conference, and it's the only place in Europe where they make their own tea because the climate is just humid enough to make their own tea. And I went round a tea plantation and I bought some tea back home.
It's lovely.
it is really
The
nice.
black tea looks a bit like Red Bush. Like it looks
Yeah.
really like you could just drink it on its own.
That sounds
You had a
really
bit of
nice.
milk with it, didn't you? Was it nice?
Yeah, it was nice. I had another one this morning, and it was. It's a nice morning tea because it's not like heavy like a breakfast tea.
Well, when you come up in July, I'll bring my big bag of loose leaf over to yours, so everyone can sample it.
What's happening in July?
Hopefully, climbing a mountain.
Oof, no.
I hope that happens.
I hope you don't get lost this time.
Yeah, well, I hope I don't get lost this time.
Yeah,
Pete,
I
you've bought
hope.
all your gear yet?
I hope for Chris's health. Yeah, no, I've got all my lovely gear. It's all lovely, and I've been going to the gym. So hopefully, I won't feel like I'm dying this time.
Are you
you were fine.
Are you exclusively doing the stepper?
So I don't do the I don't do the step
Oh
up.
god, that weird mini escalator.
Yeah, no, I do. What I
He's
do.
got 4 of them in the back of his house.
They're called stairs.
You're so loud.
So when I go to the gym, there's like a running machine, and instead
Like
of
a running machine.
instead of running on the running machine, which I'm rubbish at,
You do press-ups.
I do press ups. That's right. No, I
You
turn
walk.
that you can change the angle of the running machine.
Incline. Incline is the word you're looking
Incline. There we go. So I
You point it down.
yeah.
This is well easy.
So I set it to the highest possible setting, and then I set it to a really, really, really brisk walk.
Yeah, I do that.
And it's like it really gets my
Gets you
my
going.
sort of
Your
cardiovascular.
juices flowing.
Yeah, exactly. My juices are flowing everywhere. They say, "Could you please stop that, sir?" But it gets my cardiovascular system like going, and the strength in my legs is getting like pretty good. And it means I can like really power bomb it for for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, wherever it is, and it's really helping. So like when we take a leisurely stroll up a mountain, that should be fine. And also, I'm just
Or
in
you'll
better-
do what you did last time.
Or
which
get in the
was-
taxi with Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or you do what you did last time, which was powerbomb it for 20 minutes and realise it was a bit of a longer slog than...
pace myself. So, yeah, I mean, like, that's what I'm up for. And I must admit, I'm so much so much more physically fit than I was 20 minutes ago.
20 years ago. 20 minutes ago.
Can't see what I'm doing under the table. So no,
you have stopped eating like burgers and chicken out of a tin, so that's probably part of it.
Yeah, I've had to give that up. So that's all gone. I've been going to the gym. I've been walking to work and actually leaving the house. Like, if you remember, like 2 years ago, I was
all on one finger.
Yeah, exactly, 1, 2, 3. But like, I was. If you remember, like 2 years ago, I was working, or when we did this, I just stopped being a work from home journalist. Like literally, like a few months, I think it was, and so like my health was just awful. But now, like, yeah, it's way better. I'm really looking forward to it now, rather than the complete sense of dread. Dread is absolutely the right word, Lisa. Like. A completely terrifying sense of apprehension of I might die, and I didn't, and hopefully I won't on this one.
You will do if Kris is navigating.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kris.
Awful.
No, I've got the book. I know the reads. We're fine. Yeah. I've never done this peak.
I've got the book. Don't worry.
It's
got the book from 75 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, it's a mountain.
It's changed.
The mountain has changed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that one. So, are you interested in entering the competition I mentioned at the top of the show? If so, fantastic. We have 3 bundles of 5 games on Steam to give away. The bundles are as follows. Bundle 1 contains Grav, 30 Flights of Loving, Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery EP, Golden Axe 2, and Samarost 2. Bundle 2 has got Chivalry Medieval Warfare, The Stanley Parable, oh, that's a good game, Robot Roller Derby Disco Dodgeball, Comics Zone, and No Time to Explain. And Bundle 3 contains 2064 read-only memories, Sid Meier's Civilization 3 Complete, Super Meat Boy, VVV, oh, that is good as well. Oh my word, why are we giving these all away? And World of Goo. To enter, all you need to do is go to your podcast platform of choice, so that's Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or wherever. Leave us a review and rating, which, honestly, it takes about 2 minutes to do. And when you're done, email stayinginpod@gmail.com. That's stayinginpod@gmail.com. Email that with where you've left your review, plus the country of the store you reviewed us on, and the name you used when reviewing. And that's just so that we can find your review, basically. If you've previously left us a review and you'd like to enter, it's even easier. You just need to mail us on stayinginpod@gmail.com with where you left your review, which country you reviewed us in, and your name. So you don't need to re-review us. On July 1st, 2017, we'll put all the names we've received into our Computron 4000 competition winner deciding machine. That's a real thing, honestly. And draw 3 winners at random to receive the bundles of those games, who will then email to let them know that they've won. Good luck.
That was Staying In with Peter Willington, Sam Turner, Lisa Mart, and myself, Kris Darby. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Visit stayingin.podbean.com for more information and links to the comics, movies, games and more covered in this episode. And come find us on Twitter @StayingInPod. Thanks for listening.